We wanted to design an older adult care facility due to our interest in gerontology and healthcare design, and also because the current and future need for older adult care will only increase as the population continues to grow and age. We chose to create a continued care retirement community over the other type of older adult care facilities available due to the broad range of care that can be accommodated with such a facility, and because of this style of facility associated with successful long-term aging. With a continued care retirement community, we are able to create an older adult care facility that can accommodate all levels of care with the same building envelope. This allows for residents to receive their needed level of care as it changes without the need for relocation unless absolutely necessary. With more adults every year age 65 plus, there is great demand of quality older adult care facilities that are thoughtfully designed and not only provide a place for these adults to live and receive care, but also to thrive and enjoy their retirement year by allowing them to remain independent, socially, and physically active for as long as possible.
We chose to locate our project within Fargo at 4420 37th Avenue South because it is nearby public transit, which lets residents easily traverse the city if they're unable to drive, and the site is close to businesses like a Hornbacher's grocery store, banks, and other useful facilities. It is also close to bike paths and parks to encourage residents to take advantage of these outdoor amenities to help improve their mood and health, and it is also less than 10 minutes from the nearest hospital for quick response to medical emergencies and the general convenience of residents who need to travel back and forth quite often. Our building show is currently located at this address as well, and we chose to use the Edgewood Facility Building because its layout lent itself well to our design and helped us split the project up and make it easier to work on. The building itself, which you can see the floor plan in the bottom right corner, is 3 stories at the west side, which is toward the left, with the rest being a single floor. The main entry for the structure is also on the west side, but there is also an east entry and multiple other tertiary access points. The structure also features 2 internal courtyards, which were important elements when laying out the design later.
Before beginning our design, we conduct a review of literature focused on the concept of universal design, diversity, social inclusion, and the environment through the lens of interior design and older adult care. From this base of knowledge, we then visit local adult care facilities that offer a variety of care levels to observe how they were designed and operate, and to try and identify areas of improvement. The third step of our research was survey that we distribute digitally to residents and staff of 3 older adult care facility we tour, which is Bethany, Touchmark, and New Perspective, and to generate public through social media. In our survey, we asked participants questions regarding amenities, socialization, facility design, and safety.
When looking into amenities and resources, we asked residents what amenities they currently had access to within their facilities, and we asked non-residents what amenities they would like to see in an older adult care setting that they would consider for themselves or a loved one. With our findings, we found that the top currently available amenities for current residents of these types of facilities were a gym or a wellness center and a pharmacy. And for non-resident respondents, they would prefer to have access to a gym or a wellness center, an activity space, and a community dining or a kitchen in these types of facilities. When asking about socialization, we wanted to know how often residents socialized and where they preferred to do so. We found that residents most often would socialize outside of their apartment or dwelling unit, with a high likelihood of them socializing in spaces such as coffee shops or cafes, a bar or pub area, or an activity space, and also in the chapel or worship spaces.
Regarding to facility design, we asked resident and non-residents how different factors import how they use and perceive the space, and we have found that art and plants are feel to improve the mood for the space. We also found the design of older adult care setting will impact the residents' social life and how safe the resident will feel in the space. And finally, we ask how concerned residents and non-residents were over 4 different safety categories, which is slip and fall hazard, lining, handrail, and safety alert technology. And then we have found that residents are highly concerned about lack of safety alert technology, and for non-resident, they're more equally concerned about all 4 categories.
After going through our research, we began developing our design by compiling concepts related to our design goals of promoting well-being, happiness, and successful aging. We split our project into 3 concepts, with the first guiding the design of our public spaces. With this concept, we wanted these spaces to feel open and inviting with a more hospitality-centered approach over a facility-oriented approach. We aimed to provide comfortable social spaces based on our research findings and help promote positive mental health through thoughtful finishes and materials with this concept, but also throughout the entire project.
Our secondary design concept was for independent living area, which we're focusing on keeping the resident independent. Therefore, we have focusing on the accessibility of the space and ADA requirement, also natural color and circulation of the apartment and bathroom for wheelchair and walker access.
This third concept is focused towards memory care. Incorporating nature within this concept was important based on our research findings regarding how access to nature, both directly and indirectly, can impact medical outcomes in a positive way, especially for conditions such as Alzheimer's and dementia that impact the mind. This concept also emphasizes a flowing circulation that can provide space for residents to wander while keeping them secure and safe, which was an important takeaway from our site visits and facility manager interviews during our research process. We also emphasize a homey feeling in this concept. We wanted to avoid the feeling of a facility as much as possible to help residents be more comfortable in this space in particular. During the design portion of this project, we divided our building shell into 4 main areas: public space, shown in green, independent living, shown in gold, memory care, shown in blue, and an undesignated 4th area, which is grayed out here, that could be used for assisted living or skilled nursing as needed. Within these 4 areas that we separated the space out into, we also separated them individually into designed and allocated space. For each area, we chose a couple of spaces to fully design. For public space, we chose the reception and cafe area. For independent living, we chose to design the resident rooms and the lounge space. And in memory care, we decided to do the reception and the resident rooms in this space as well. Apart from these design spaces, we also allocated space for areas such as activity spaces, dining areas, wellness spaces, and other resident-centered spaces, Alongside these, we allocated space for employees and functional use, like a facility kitchen, offices, and nurses' stations.
Within our public space, we chose to design the reception area and cafe because this area were what would be seen as people enter the building and could be utilized to define the identity of the facilities. We incorporate the natural finishes such as wood and stone and natural pattern through leaves and trees design that allow us to incorporate element of biophilia and tie into our branding with birch themes. While selecting our finishes, we also provide visual contrast between surface and surface of different levels by making sure this material are visually different enough that people with degenerative eye conditions, which are common in the aging population, can distinguish the edge of surface and prevent dropping items off the table and counters, as well as bumping into this surface.
In the design of the cafe and reception, we provided multiple different types of seating, both central and peripheral to the spaces, that create a variety of arrangements for socialization. The seating in the space all feature arms to assist in sitting and standing from a seated position, and all tables and surfaces are in ADA standard height, including our cafe counter seating area shown in the bottom right. We carried the vertical slat element used over the reception to the cafe as well to tie them together, as well as to help with acoustic control in the large open entry and mezzanine space, as that is a PET felt backed material. We also carried through organic shapes with the hexagons on the reception desk and the undulating cafe overhang, which also serves as a visual separation between the mezzanine and cafe. The west wall of the space, which is shown in the upper left, features large windows, and we made an effort to keep them unobstructed to allow as much natural light into the space as possible and keep the space bright and open in contrast with our darker materials.
For independent living lounge area, we create a space for residents can socialize when desired. It help it helps their mood by interact with other residents or even people from outside of the community. We have chose a variety of seating available for residents in the social areas. The material that we chose for the furniture create a visual contrast between furniture and floor. Therefore, the residents who have bad eyesight can easily tell between furniture and floor, so they won't have tripping hazard. For independent living apartment, we have one bedroom and two bedroom apartment. The furniture in the apartment we have chose are specifically designed for older adult with armrests to help residents who have walkers and wheelchairs easier to get in the chair and get out the chair. Also including arts and plants to help improve the residents' mood and perception of the space. The kitchen cabinets are followed with the ADA requirement, and we have minimal floor transitions to reduce the tripping hazard. The layout of the apartment opened up the circulation of the space to have easier access for walkers and wheelchairs. These are the bedroom and bathroom view for the apartment. For the bathroom area, consider a bathroom have higher chance to have slip and fall hazard, we select the slip resistant flooring to reduce the slip and fall hazard. We also including the grab bar and sitting area in our walk-in showers for residents to have safe space for showering.
In the memory care space, we kept the same textures and finishes used in the public spaces to tie this area back into the rest of the project, but we did use a different color palette to help define it as its own specific area within the project. And we also designed some different defining features to showcase the memory care as its own individual part of the whole. In the memory care wing, we designed a separate reception area that shows the transition from one area to another, as well as to help control access to the space, as memory care residents are an at-risk population and require specific safety considerations regarding exits. As the primary access into the memory care area, we incorporated the same acoustical wall element as the main reception, and we continued it onto the ceiling as an element to distinguish the space and to draw people in as well. The reception desk incorporates a partial hexagon shape to call back to the primary reception desk, and features a wall mural behind that helps also to draw the eye. Flanking either side of this desk, we created planters wrapped with the same acoustical wall treatment, and these are located throughout the wing as well, and encourage residents to plant their own flowers or fruits and veggies, and allow them to directly influence their space and encourage different forms of social interaction. Over the reception desk, we utilized a unique pendant fixture that is designed to emulate a birch tree, tying strongly into our branding, and also functions as acoustic control with felt leaves. Off to the left, out of sight in this rendering, there is also a nurse's station that allows for somebody to monitor the entrance after visiting hours when there would not necessarily be a receptionist in the space. Within the memory care resident rooms, which we designated as suites, we incorporated familiar elements like a kitchen to help reinforce a feeling of residence rather than facility. And while these kitchens have limited functions, they serve a symbolic purpose as an element of home. The studio suites are the smallest resident room, with the other option being a companion suite. The companion suites are laid out similar to a two-bedroom apartment and are meant to provide a space where residents can choose to have a roommate or companion, and allows for an increased level of socialization, which has been shown to be beneficial to adults with Alzheimer's and dementia. Both the studio and companion suites are intentionally plain, and this is done to encourage residents to personalize their spaces by changing paint colors, incorporate their own furnishings, and utilizing their own decorations. This personalization helps residents claim their own space and creates a feeling of belonging and individuality that further moves the feeling of the space away from a facility and more towards a home.
Through the process of researching and designing, we hope to make Birch Valley Senior Living a continued care retirement community that promotes community, wellness, and independence for those who choose to call it home. Thank you for listening to our capstone presentation.